All right, good evening and welcome to my second guest on the Glatt seat. That's the new name we have. We're pushed away from the first name. We're given legal issues. And I'm honored to have him for my second guest, Dovid Kahana, a resident here in Telstone. Dovid and I go back because from the Mir, I don't really know him before that, but I was an Avrich in the Mir for a couple of years. And Dovid, sometimes an Avrich in the Mir. You still learning the Mir sometimes?
I was at Yeshiva Brachas even maybe.
Oh, right, that's right. He was at my Sheva Brachos because his wife,
I wasn't at the wedding.
is not his wife, his sister, Nechama Samuels, was my wife's, my wife helped her a lot in the house, so you probably know my wife a lot better than me. But, what did you say about my wife?
My wife.
About my wife?
My wife was at the wedding.
What, at the wedding? You didn't come to my wedding?
What was the
You came
wedding?
to the Sheva Brachos.
Right, I think it was Panu Chadashis.
What did you say about my wife?
At Zinman, right?
What did you say about my wife?
What did I say to your wife?
What do you have to say about my wife?
Yeah, I think
She's a big tzaddikas.
she has the same name as my wife.
Nechama.
Yeah, there you go.
And also your sister's Nechama.
Wow.
This is unbelievable. Wow, this is really, really unbelievable. Many a lot of Nechamas here. How many kids do you have?
I have one daughter and 6 boys. I know.
7 kids. It beats me by 3. All right. So I want to talk about Dovid Kahana. I found him to be an interesting guest because he has. First of all, let's just find out about you, your background a little bit, a little brief bio about you, like where you're from, you know, where you grew up.
I haven't grown up yet.
How old are you?
54.
54. You haven't grown up. Do you plan on growing up in your
I'm
lifetime?
like Peter Pan.
Really? You're gonna be young your whole life?
I'd like to be, yeah. I mean, my body doesn't feel so young, but you know, my brain feels young.
I mean, you have a nice black beard. It's nice.
It used to be red.
Really?
It was never black.
You got a red beard? You got a red
It's
beard?
reddish, yeah.
So you're probably happy that it became white, right?
Why?
I don't know. People don't like red hair. I don't know.
I like red.
You like red hair? All right, cool.
It's about, you know, it means that you're hot blooded. So that's me. Anyway.
All right. So
Kahana,
tell me, where are you
hot
from?
blooded
Where are you
as
from? Where are you originally from?
Oy vey. It's a long story. I was born in Hackensack, New Jersey.
Raised in.
We lived in Muncie, New York at the time. Then we moved to Guadalajara, Mexico.
You were living here with your wife in Israel and you moved back to Miami?
For about 8 years. Got the master's, worked in the stock market as a stock trader. I was involved with Rabbi Zweig's yeshiva. I had a chavrusa.
So I have to ask you, for someone with so much relevance to Miami, I have to ask you about Jimmy Butler's shot the other night.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. Well, you're a Miami Heat fan, right? I think
No,
we discussed.
no.
You're not a Miami Heat fan? You're not into basketball? You told me once that you're a Miami Heat fan.
I know. I never said anything of the sort.
Anyway, I just want to tell you about your team, Miami. They were so
My
close
team.
to making an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It came down to Game 7 against the Boston Celtics. Jimmy Butler down by 2
This is not the
with
Glad
15 seconds left.
They were only down by
They were
2?
down by 2. 15 seconds left in transition.
He was open for
He
3.
pulls it. He was a wide open for 3.
So that's what you.
It was a good shot, but he missed it.
Oh my God! You know what? They miss more than they make in their career. You know, unless you're an inside guy, you miss more than you make. That's life.
That's what you got. Golden State or the Celtics in the finals.
It depends.
What do you think's gonna win it?
Depends. I think.
Make a pick on camera. You'll be held responsible for this pick.
Nevela Vizet Treifa.
Interesting. This is a Glatt seat because Zen Nevela is a treifa. Both of them you can't eat. Which one's the Nevela? Which one's the treifa? It's interesting. Okay, let's get back to what we want to talk about today. The reason I have you as a guest over here, you have a very interesting background. Probably I could talk to you for like 3 hours about your diversified background. But he has this interesting program that he started. That he
Did you
told
go
me
to
about.
college? You said.
I went to college, Yeshiva University.
You got a degree from
I got a degree, a
Yeshiva
bachelor's, yeah.
In what?
Psychology, yeah.
Really?
I never pursued it though.
Okay.
I made a transition from bachelor's in psychology to YouTube video streamer on YouTube, with a lot of years of learning in between. Anyway, so I also give shiurim on YouTube. So he has this program. It's called the Yissacher Zevulun program. Can you just tell me a little bit about it?
Basically, Yissacher learns. Zevulun learns as well, but mainly his main pursuit is providing for his family and for Yissacher, and they share, according to some opinions, 50-50 in the learning of Yissacher. Other opinions hold that they each get 100%. Other opinions hold that Zevulun gets 50% and Yissacher keeps 100%, like a candle. Like if you light one candle from another candle, nothing is taken away from the candle that was already lit. But the new candle has its own flame.
Basically, what you do is you go fundraise. You started this program on your own initiative, or there was something behind this?
I started on my own initiative. The problem is that...
Let me just explain what Yissacher Zevulun, because Yissacher Zevulun basically, he gets people to be Zvuluns, to finance the lives of Yissachers. We're going to get how you pick them more in a second, but to finance their lives and pay all their bills, basically, so they can sit and learn Torah. And the Zvuluns get, like he was saying, according to some opinions, they get half the schar. Some opinions, they get all the schar. They both get 100% of the schar, the Yissacher and the Zvulun of the learning. And that's basically what you do. You go to America to fundraise.
No, I tried not to go to
You
America.
don't go to America to fundraise.
I try to go to America maybe, like I have to go to next week for a wedding, God willing.
Oh, so incidentally, if you're in America,
I do pretty much all my fundraising now on the computer or on the phone. I'd rather not have to travel to America if I don't have to.
America, as reference to America.
Or Schmutz La'aretz, yeah.
Schmutz La'aretz. Okay.
I mean, again, I go, but I'd rather not if I don't have to. You know,
all those people viewing in America, he's basically encouraging you to make Aliyah right now and come live in his apartment. He has a couple of bedrooms over here. I'll have you in his apartment. I'm joking. Anyway,
you can contact me if you'd like.
Contact you. I'll help you out. He's a nice guy. Dovid is a very nice guy. He's also very worldly. He knows a lot about the world. So when you're in, so how do you get most of the money for paying?
Okay,
these
so basically,
suffers?
like I said, I had this idea for many years. You look at a paycheck of an avrech in the mirror.
So how would you compare that? Like
a guy who learns full day in the mirror, he gets paid about 1,350 shekel. Okay. Now, before taking tests and before supplemental things, and maybe he could get it up to, I don't know, 2,000 shekel.
How much?
2,000 shekel.
2,000 shekel.
2,000 is about $600 a month.
$600 a month.
So try to live on $600 a month. Maybe by yourself, if you're a homeless guy, you can do that. But with you and your wife, you know, you want to eat something, you want to live in a place, it's going to cost you minimum $1,500. That's just you and your wife, and that's living in bare bones. You and your wife and your 4 kids, you're looking at $3,000. You and your wife and your 6. This is the minimum. These are the absolute rock bottom.
Sure.
Okay, as it goes up,
way below the poverty line, right?
Someone with a wife and kids and a wife and 10 kids, he could be looking at close to $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month, depending on where his kids are going to school and what health issues and so on. So these people are being moser nefesh to sit and learn, and they're not concerning themselves whether the money's coming from. Somehow it comes anyway. And
how does the money come? I mean,
it's Eretz Yisrael. The pasuk says, "Tamin Eini Hashem" is on Eretz Yisrael, so it's not a word.
So why mix with that model? Why? How much do in general, may I ask, that Zevulun is providing a Yissacher, potential Yissacher per month?
So let's say about 6+ years ago, February, I was in the States for my mother's 75th birthday party, and I decided before I left that I was going to try to start this. So I sat down with one.
Why do you try to start this?
Because I could tell you, people can't make ends meet.
You felt they wanted to
live. Can't make ends meet. They don't want to. They just don't want to have the jumping from one Gemach to another Gemach and borrowing here and borrowing there.
So you're doing it as a chesed for the Yissachers? Is that why you're doing it?
To connect the two of them, yeah. Zevulun has more money.
He gives schar for the Zevulun, right?
Zevulun has more money than he knows what to do with.
Right.
What does he do instead? He buys another house or another car and a fancier watch and a fancier suit and all these things that he needs. But instead, he could actually buy himself Olam Haba, which is, maybe you want that. There's a famous story with the Alter Rebbe, he was also known as the Balatanya. He's also known as the Shulchan Aruch Harav, Hagoin Reb Zalman.
First Lubavitch Rebbe, yeah.
I don't know if he was Lubavitch. Anyway, he was the first. He was the Goin Reb Zalman. We call him in the Mishnah Brewer. He's calling him Goin Reb Zalman all the time.
Bronze, right?
And he had a grandson who turned out to be the Tzemach Tzedek. And the Tzemach Tzedek was walking around with a fancy belt. And he said to him, what are you doing with that fancy belt? He said, yeah, I got engaged. So, yeah, how much money did you get? He said, I got 200 rubles. Oh, that was a lot of money back then. He said, if you're really smart, you'll take that 200 rubles and you put it in this box over here. And he's laughing at his Zaidi, like, what are you talking about? So what are you doing with the money? Oh, I I have a good guy. Over la Yissacher. He gave it to the stockbroker.
Okay.
So he comes back 2 years later, and he's like, "Oh, how's that investments doing?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, the guy lost all the money." So I told you that if you would have put it in this box, you would have returns forever. What was the box? The box was the stock box. That's where you should be putting your money if you want returns on your investments. Obviously, you have to be smart and whatever. We're not going to go, but it depends at the level of the Alter Rebbe. You could rely on the fact that you're putting your money in the box, and you have Karen Kayemes L'Olam Haba. Anyway, so I sat down with the Gvir at this birthday party for my mother.
It wasn't a Ferragamo belt.
I don't know. They didn't have Ferragamo in the late 1700s. There was no Ferragamo.
No Ferragamo belts, but it wasn't expensive.
Again, so we don't even know.
200 rubles. I don't know what that is.
They didn't pay 200 rubles for the belt, but it was an expensive belt.
Okay, all right.
That's how much he got his entire dowry or whatever they call it.
So based on this story, you decided...
no, based on the fact that these people that are sitting and learning, and they don't make ends meet. Let's say, look,
so how many, in your current program now, how many people are involved in the program right now? How many Zevuluns and how many Yissachers?
Okay, first of all, let me go back to what happened at my mother's 75th birthday party. I sat down with this guy and I said, I'm starting this program. You're interested? I got a guy, $2,500 a month. He said, 5 minutes. I sold the guy, all of a sudden, $30,000 a year. He was given to this guy. This was 6+ years ago. He's still
Did you have a Yissacher at that point?
I had a guy that I already spoken to Rabbi Friedlander about if he was worthy or not, and he said yes. He said this is a good guy.
He's a guy from Telstone?
He lives in Telstone. So for 6+ years he's been. Actually, I got him a raise last year to $3,000 a month. But
$3,000 a month. $3,000 for in shekel is like 10,000 shekel a month. That is, I guess, like. Is that minimum wage? No, it's more than minimum wage, right? Double minimum wage.
I have no idea.
It's pretty good. It's decent.
He's not getting paid per hour that he's working, so then it's probably not minimum wage. Because he's probably learning, hopefully, 12 to 14 hours a day.
So this person's committing now $3,000 a month, like $36,000 a year.
He's been doing it already for 6 years.
6 years. So this started 6 years ago. He was the first guy to be part of this program.
Right.
So, do you have a name for this program? Is there like it's called?
No, I think we called it.
If anyone wants to get in contact with you, maybe they would like to offer to be the Zevulun.
It can be a Zevulun, one of the
Zevulun, right? He has confidence. It's gonna be a lot of Zevuluns after watching this video. How many Zevuluns do you have?
Again, I have a number. I don't know the exact number, but we're helping 24. We're helping about 24 people. 24
Yissachers. 24 people that are learning.
Right, but they're not all getting supported full time. Completely. At first, I thought I was going to only try to get complete support, but...
What do you consider complete support? Like how much money per month?
The person... It depends on the person.
Oh, it depends on the person, how much they need, how big their family is, and things like that.
So there's different ways of being Yissacher Zevulun as well. Like, let's say, if Zevulun really, according to the original understanding of what Zevulun Yissacher relationship is, if Zevulun earns $1 million,
right,
let's say after taxes, he takes 500,000 of that and he gives that to Yissacher. That's the ultimate Yissacher Zevulun relationship. Everything else might be percentages, but again, that's open.
So you're saying an interesting thing. You're saying that Zevulun, it's not just that whatever money he decides to give to Yissacher, he gets half of the schar of the learning of that Yissacher. He's saying optimally he's supposed to give half of his money, whatever he's earning per year. Correct. He's supposed to get half of the money. It doesn't have to be one person.
Just like he's expecting the entire, he's expecting partnership with Yissacher.
That's something I didn't really know. I always thought like whatever money he decides to give, he gets that person's half of the schar. But you're saying it's more of
this opinion.
What? Whose opinion is that?
I can't remember now.
It's one of the Rishonim or something.
Yes, Avas Chesed in the Chavos.
Is there a source for the Yissacher Zevulun partnership?
What do you mean before?
In the Rishonim or the Achronim in the Shulchan Aruch, that I just want to know how does it work? Like how do you assure a Zevulun that he's going to get paid back? I mean, and we know the Medrash in the Torah says that Yissacher, Zevulun, whatever the pasuk says. Right. So exactly, the pasuk says. But is there any makor in Shulchan Aruch that we know for sure that it's guaranteed that he's going to get half of the schar of the Limud Torah that the Yissacher does?
Again, we know that the Shulchan Aruch guarantees you that you're allowed to test Hashem with your stuck and your mice. So I'm assuming that this is even greater than that.
Because I remember there's a Rashi in Zvachim or something like that. I believe at the beginning of Zvachim that mentions there was actually an incident of one of people that engaged in this Yissacher Zevulun relationship. Right? There's a Rashi in Zvachim on Daf Beis, I think. Beis of an Aleph, the first time.
Look.
I learned Zevulun a little bit. I learned the beginning, and it did mention that. It said called him Achi or something. He was the brother of him. It called him the brother because he was Yissacher.
Azariah, Achi. Yeah.
So there is a Makor in the Gemara, and Rashi, and the Gemara says, and Rashi explains that they had Yissacher's one relationship.
Like Azariah's father.
Oh, so therefore you have a relationship. I just want to know, are any Zevuluns like bothered by, do they want to sign a contract or something like that?
I mean, we offer a contract.
You offer a contract. You have a written contract?
Reb Chaim Kanievsky has a contract that he put out.
Oh, yeah?
And we have one.
Where could you find this contract?
You can find it on the internet.
The internet, Reb Chaim Kanievsky's contract. It's known as Reb Chaim Kanievsky's contract.
I don't know what it's known as. I have it.
And what does the contract stipulate? What does it say? Just in general, what does it say? Like the person, it says, I will give your sustenance,
I will
whatever
give you whatever the number is. You can put in whatever you want, and we have it.
And you are guaranteed to get. What do you say?
Guaranteed anything.
What does it say?
And we'll be partners. Yeah, you'll be my partner. And there's longer ones, there's shorter versions. Yeah, some people want a longer version.
A longer version.
What the guy's actually going to do? Like, well, how are you going to spend your time?
How many hours?
3 hours learning halacha, 9 hours learning Gemara, 1 hour learning Kabbalah, whatever it is. Yeah.
So some of the Zevuluns, they actually want specific types of limud Torah.
Exactly.
Interesting. Why would they want that? Like, they get a scar. You get more scar for learning halacha than learning Gemara.
Maybe, yeah. It says so maybe that's more. Anyway, Cook holds that you should be learning basically Kabbalah all day. So again, there's different strokes for different folks, they say.
So you said you have about 24 people that are currently
being supported somewhat.
Being supported, and how many, does that mean there's 24 Zevuluns, 24 people, or there's less Zevuluns that are just helping more people, or more Zevuluns, less
well, again, like I say, I don't really count myself as Zevulun, but
you also share part of this program?
I probably share part of this program. I have friends.
Can I ask you how you earn your parnas?
I invest in the stock market.
Really? You make money off the stock market? That's how you make your money?
I invested in the stock market for 33 years. No,
you just had a lump of money that you...
33 years. No, whatever. Like I said.
You're basically a cautious trader, S&P 500?
I'm not a trader at all.
I'm an investor, an S&P 500 investor?
No, I don't have any investments.
You have individual stocks you buy?
I have very few individual stocks. I have mutual funds. I've had mutual funds for 33 years.
Obviously, it grows incrementally very... how hard is it to find the Zevulun? Is it like, I'm sure you told me once you had a story that you went into some guy's house and he got really angry at you or something like that. Remember you told me the story?
Yeah.
Is it very hard to find Zevuluns? Like in terms of, like, you know, people go fundraising for a lot of things, for stucco for their personal needs. Wow. They go for grosh for kollels to fund yeshivas. Right. Comparing fundraising for other, you know, for stucco, kollel, yeshivas. Is this harder or easier to find?
I don't know.
It's probably
fundraising in general for me is very difficult.
Have you ever done other fundraising besides this?
I've done a lot of different.
You've done a lot of fundraising.
I still do fundraising for individuals, for poor people, for my brother-in-law Jeff Seidel's programs. I do some fundraising for him. I do fundraising for almonas that live here in Telstone. For
we talked about him right with that was the first guest. He told me that fundraisers can take up to 49% for their personal.
Why can't they take more than that?
He says a Chavetz Chaim. With the tradition of the Chavetz Chaim, you can take 49%. Is that, do you follow that? Do you take a proportion from the fundraising?
No, I said I'm part of the Zevulun. What I give. I give my money, I take it back. Does that make sense? That's a little retarded.
You have a nice house over there. I didn't spoil your house, but nice leather couches over here. These are leather, or these are?
We bought it used. Yeah.
The leather couches.
3,700 shekel for both of them.
$1,000.
Wow.
Three-seater and a two-seater. They're very comfortable. I'm telling you, this is a great couch. I really feel honored to be on this couch.
Anyway, we bought this house again 19 years ago. The prices were a little different in Telston. You can't buy, a machzam for what we paid for this apartment now.
All right. The last question I want to finish off with is, two questions. First of all, how do you find the right Yissacher? Meaning, how do you go about it? Can I be a Yissacher? Can I be someone? I learn all the whole day, most of it.
What I do is I ask the person for their schedule, and I ask.
Do people come to you, or you go looking for them?
They don't know who I am.
People don't come. They don't know about your program.
Yeah. I mean, if
someone has an official name, what's the official name?
There's no official name.
If you want to write a check to it, how would you write it? American Friends of
Nevei Tzion. Yes.
Nevei Tzion. So it's affiliated with the yeshiva.
It's nothing to do with Nevei Tzion, but they do pass through about $7,000 a month to people that work in Nevei Tzion.
So they're part of the Yissacher, as you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry,
But again, the none. I see none of the money. The money goes either to.
This is amazing. You get 0%. This is all no overhead over here.
Exactly. That's the whole point. That 100. Like I was doing some research on a certain charity in Yerushalayim, which raises $20 some odd million a year, and 76% of their money goes to their operation, to their programs.
Mm-hmm.
That means 24% go. That's over $5 million goes to fundraising and administration. So that's $5 million a year. That's a lot of money. $3 million a year is going to fundraising.
Well, this is what we were talking about in the other.
$3 million is costing them to fundraise. Okay.
But you're getting the 76%.
That's very nice. But here 100% of the money is going, not 76.
That's really it's very impressive. It's very impressive you're able to do it. I talked with Wittel about taking a part in the fundraising for personal expenses. He tries not to, but sometimes he admitted that he did for some of his weddings, but that he made. But everyone's different. Technically it's okay. He said. So how do you be a Yissacher? Like how do you find these people?
I told you, I asked the guy for his schedule and his.
So you go looking for these people. You want to help out these people.
I ask people sometimes, do you know anybody? And then they send me their.
I mean, everybody who's in Kollel is getting. There's so many Avrei.
But I'm not looking for the run of the mill guy. You're
looking for the best of the best.
The diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough. You can't find them. What are you looking for? The guy who's going to put the most hours in, the quality, the quantity of learning? What are you looking for in the guy?
First of all, the guy needs to get a good recommendation from either another Yissacher or from the Rosh Kollel or from someone that I know that I trust that I ask. And then he gives me his schedule. Like again, someone
is there like a minimum of hours like he's supposed to be learning a day?
But again, like I'm saying, someone sent me. I asked him about someone. He said this guy's a good candidate. He gave me the information. I'm like, the guy's learning, 8 or 9 hours a day. I'm like, I know doctors and balabatim in America that learn more. So I'm not that's not what,
so
that's
what's
what
the
I'm
standard?
looking for.
15 hours a day? I mean, wife and family, it's not easy
the
to
most
learn
recent guy that I hooked up with, this guy is up until after Tikkun Chatzos, and he wakes up still for nates. He might take an hour to nap in the morning, but meanwhile he's basically
the whole day he's
learning about 18 or 19 hours a day. He's not the regular guy, but he is.
He's not the regular. So what's the average?
And he is about $4,000 a month short. So his cost every month is about $6,000 a month, and he's $4,000 a month short. So imagine what he has to do every month to run here and there to cover his expenses.
He's getting other money from Kollel that he's part of, or something like that.
But he's $4,000 a month short.
And you're providing him with now.
I'm not providing with all of it. I just started. I've only given him so far in the last few months $3,200. Not me, through the organization, $3,200. But I'm trying to raise for him some money. I met him at a wedding. No, I was sitting across the table from him at a wedding, and I saw him, and I went over to him.
He wasn't
learning. He was whatever. He just looked like he was smiling and had a shiny countenance. I'm like, oh, you look like a guy. I went to talk to him. Actually, he lived here in Tulsa at some point. I didn't know him then. He moved out before. Anyway, I'm like talking to him. He's like, yeah, I used to work, and And
are you looking for like good character traits also? Was like
course.
A tzaddik, like the persona of a tzaddik, or the persona of a masmid, or somewhere in between?
We want both. What do you mean?
You want
both. Can't be a masmid.
No, because sometimes a tzaddik will forgo some of his learning, to do chesed and do other.
Okay, well, Rabbi,
things.
if you look at Rabbi Avigdor Miller's Torah Avigdor last week, someone asked him the question, and obviously this was 20 plus 30 years ago. What should I be involved in Kiruv? And he says, if you're one of those guys who are sitting in the base medrash Erev Shabbos, and when they're cleaning up, you have to move your feet, so don't leave the base medrash. If you're one of those guys that it's a home, you're wasting time already. There's plenty of time you can waste doing Kiruv. So it depends, So
you're looking for the guy who's sitting.
I'm looking for a guy who's sitting. A guy who's into Kiruv. He can get a career in Kiruv and make a lot of money. I know plenty of people that are in Kiruv that make a lot of money. They do. They make a lot of money. They live in nice fancy houses, and a lot of them live in America. A lot of them. You go to an out of town Kollel, you can make $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year.
And you say that he's $4,000 short. He has a budget of $6,000 a month. I mean, that's a considerable budget. I don't know how many kids he has,
Yeah,
but
he has.
what type of lifestyle are these people living? Like they're living bare minimum lifestyle? Is that what you're looking for, or you want to provide them to have
I
a
try to give them a little
lifestyle?
bit more than
You want to
they
give them.
expect.
They shouldn't be in poverty. They
Of
shouldn't.
course.
They should have. They should be eating. I don't know, baby chicken for dinner, right?
No.
Not baby chicken.
Why?
Salmon.
Why? I don't know
No,
why.
chicken on the bone.
If you want that,
Or
again,
soy hot dogs.
yeah, that also.
Soy hot.
They should be able to eat what they want, but obviously they shouldn't be extravagant. Again, the point of this life is not to live like a king.
You like finance like them going out for dinner as a couple and things like that.
They don't ask me. They don't give me.
These
Like,
are not-
expense.
No, but I'm saying the type of people that you're getting are the
They
people.
give me their expenses, right? So let's say that first person.
How do you know to trust like what their expensive is?
Yes, I was recommended by Rabbi Freelander, the first man, and he showed me his expenses were, let's say, $7,800, 7,800 shekel a month.
Mhm.
Okay, and at the time, let's say the dollar was 3.4, so basically that was, I don't know, it was $2,200. So I got him $2,500. So I got him a little extra. The next guy, I had an amazing experience a couple years ago, last summer. I landed in America in the summer, and I got a Facebook message from someone who had been at my house a few years ago, a distant relative, and he said, call me. I'm like, okay, send me your number. I called him. He's like, I was at your house a few years ago, and you were talking about the Yissacher Zevulun. I said, yeah, well, he's been invested in the market as long as me. He's pretty much exactly a day older than me. And said, one of those investments that I had from 30 years ago when we were working together, yeah, they hit. And I'm making more money than I know what to do with right now. I want a Yissacher. I'm like, out of the blue, this guy called.
That's great.
I told him,
you up. That's
I told him, I have a guy who's actually expired, whose current relationship with someone is stopping in September. This was in July. $3,500 a month. Fine. So a month later, I contact the guy, says, you ready to start starting? It's almost September. He's like, right, yeah, $2,500. I'm like, no. It's $4,000. And the guy's like,
oh,
let me.
said 33,500.
I said 30. Yeah, right.
But you wanted to up it a little bit. Okay.
Right, exactly.
So you said 4,000.
So he said, let me talk to my wife. I'm like, okay. I'm diving that your wife.
Well, you knew this guy growing up, no?
I did. Yeah, he's a distant relative.
Relative. So
I
what ended up happening?
Ended up happening. I davened that his wife should say. She said okay, and it's now almost June, and every month this guy gets $4,000 a month. So Baruch Hashem, this year maybe we'll raise over $200,000 Sachakol. So it's difficult, maybe even more depending on some
but
people.
you don't have any fundraising trips that you go on. This is just incidental contacts that you come across. Do you ask people? Do you solicit for these things?
People email.
You send emails to people.
Email to people.
And
sometimes I call people. But
maybe
these people, or
people
LinkedIn.
You knew that from friends of friends.
Friends of friends. Like one of my.
You don't have any like organizations like call list like. You don't have like that. Like you're not making cold calls over here. You're basically.
I was a stockbroker for a little while, and I wasn't very good at that. So I don't like cold calling. First of all, I don't like Rabbi Zweig. Also, he doesn't like when people tell him no. That's what he told us many times. And he raised millions and millions of dollars. I haven't raised millions and millions of dollars. Maybe I've raised $500,000 Sachakol. Maybe a little bit more. Anyway, somewhere between $500,000 $1 million range in my whole career, which is about 18 years of fundraising. But Baruch Hashem, it's.
Do you think that you get part of the schar of the learning also because you're raising the funds?
I think the Gemara says. I think I get more schar than the guy who gives.
You do. The person who causes.
That's not why I'm doing it.
You're not doing it for the schar. You're doing it to help.
Again, like my brother-in-law says. He quotes Rabbi Steinsaltz, my brother-in-law. The Mishnah says, "Az panim legehenim, nu boish panim legan Eden." He says, why is that? Because the Az panim, he goes down into Gehenim and he gets the guys up. Who else is going to go down to Gehenim to bring the bad guys up? Right? So a similar situation here. Who cares about going to get? So we're going to get Gan Eden.
Wait, so you're telling me you're an Az panim, you're going to Gehenim to get the money for these people?
I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we're not concerned.
You're not going to Gehenim. Dovid.
We're like Antignos. There's somebody named Antignos. He's one of the. He's before the Zugos, right?
I'll tell you, I don't know someone.
Antignos is Soifai. What does he say? He says, I'll take avodim amasham shenesarav al manas lekabel pras ella diek avodim shemasham shenesarav shaloi al manas lekabel pras. So we're reducing shaloi al manas lekabel. Doesn't mean you won't get a pras. It means that You're doing it shelo ya'al manasaka. You're not even thinking about the pros. Forget about the pros.
You'll get it, but
okay, that's what the Mishnah later says. Tzadikim is lavo. Again, we're not concerning ourselves. We're not tzadikim. We're not any of these things. We're just doing our little bit. Believe me, there's going to be plenty of time I'm going to be spending in Gehenna, and I'm going to need that fun to get me out. That's what I'm going to need. But whatever. This is what I'm trying to do.
It's very good. The last question I have, one more question.
No problem.
Very interesting, these things, to find out about these things. I mean, it's very interesting. It's a unique program. I don't think there's too many people that do these types of things, right? It's not a prevalent type of chesed or tzedakah or fundraising that's been done in the world. It's not. Do you know other people that do these types of things?
I know people that have relationships. I was at a friend of mine's house in
saying
Boca,
in an organized way.
And he had a sign on his wall. He was partners with Moshe Sternbach. He was his Yissacher Zevulun relationship.
He was supporting Ramosh Sternbach?
That's what he said on his wall.
Wow, Ramosh Sternbach is one of the biggest rabbis here in Israel. A rabbi.
He might be the Gadol Ador, exactly.
He might be the Gadol Ador. We're discussing who's the Gadol Ador. If you think you're the Gadol Ador,
please.
You could write your name in the comments below and we'll strongly consider your application.
We'll vote.
Wait, what about maybe I could be the Gadol Ador?
You could be.
I could be the Gadol. He said you could write my name in the comments. So make sure you write down in the comments below who you think the current Gadol Ador should be. The last question I have for you is that, do these people have relationships? Zevulun and Yissacher, most of these Zevuluns are people in America, right?
No. The best way
really?
to have...
You have a lot of people in Zevulun in Israel?
Except for me, no.
No, they're all in America. Are there other countries?
The best
also?
relationship with anybody you're giving tzedakah to is to not have a relationship. Right?
So they don't
the
talk
highest
to each
level
other.
Is to not know who you're giving to and him not to know who he's getting from.
Right, that's true.
And that's the best
think
level.
that.
And if the person wants, so fine. They might know the name, but that doesn't
Do they
really
ever write like a letter of gratitude to them or things like that? They do.
This man who has a 6-year relationship, he's published a number of books, and he sent them each of the books that he's published. That's a way of gratitude. And he maybe wrote him an email, but again, he doesn't know if he saw him on the street.
Has any of them met each other in person? They've never met each other in person.
Even if they have, they don't know that
they don't know they have.
Not that I know of. No, the point is, again, but all the money, again, money goes to the Miami Beach Community Kollel. They have a Gemach fund.
You have like a 501c, like an organization? There's no organization. It is tax exempt.
The Miami Beach Community Kollel is a tax exempt organization. You send it to their Gemach fund. The Nevei Tzion is a 501c3. This Yad Chaya in wherever.
So it's not really being sent directly to you, and you're giving it to them.
Exactly. The whole point is that I'm not seeing the money at all. Again, Rav Kook
goes.
They said the reason why Rav Kook.
But you're telling them who to send it to. I'm saying you're the one organizing.
That's fine, but I'm not seeing the money. I never
orchestrated.
Again, Rav Kook also gave away millions of dollars, but the money never came to his pocket. So there's none of that Yissacher that the money comes. When the money comes in my pocket, I have a big Yissacher to hold on to it. Right, today, Baruch Hashem, we donated $7,200 to the Miami Beach Community Kollel Gemach Fund, which will get dispersed to other organizations.
Did that.
I mean, again, it wasn't only all my money, but I did it myself today with my wife's credit card, actually. So my wife did it today. But again, that's what's
I have to ask your son a question. Zevi, where is Zevi? Zevi, what do you think about your father's program over here, the Yissacher Zevulun, that he's helping so many people learn Torah with with a sense of, not a sense of honor. They're being honored to learn Torah. They're not living in dire poverty. What do you think about this, Zevi? You think it's good? How old are you, Zevi? How old are you? You speak English? 7? Yeah? You think it's a good program your father's running? You love your father?
Velvel. You also call him Velvel.
Velvel. Should I call him Velvel?
You can call him Velvel.
Velvel, when you grow up, you want to be a Yissacher or a Zevulun? That's a good question, right? Do you want to be the person earning a lot of money? Obviously, if you earn a lot of money and you're a big stock trader like your father, then you're going to be giving a lot of the money to Yissachers. So you'll give it to your father. I'll give it to Yissachers. Or do you want to be like Yissacher that's sitting and learning? Or do you want to be in Kollel and not be Yissacher? Which one? 3 choices.
Kollel and not Yissacher?
Well, I'm saying you could opt out.
Yeah, true.
What do you want, Zevi? What do you think? Kollel. He wants Kollel. He doesn't want to be Yissacher. He doesn't want to take it.
High five.
No.
You made your father nachas. He's very happy. I mean, I think you believe that you don't lose anything by being a Yissacher, probably, do you? I mean, you lose, according to the opinion that you only get 50%, then you've lost something. But according to the opinion that you both get 100%, or he gets 100 and the other guy gets 50, so you haven't lost anything. So 2 out of 3 opinions, you haven't lost anything. But there is that third chance, or 33.33% chance that you've lost half of your schar.
The says Achrei Rabim Lahatas. So we'll go after.
So you go after the Rabbim. You're not going to learn your schar. So if anyone wants to contact you, I'll guarantee it.
And if I go to Gehenna, because I guarantee that you'll get the schar. So
you're not going to
add it on to the weight, to the scales. No problem.
You're humble. So if you do want to, if you want to leave, you want people to contact you, I leave your email address or a phone number in the comment in the description. I'll leave it. If you want to get in contact and you want to be that Zevulun, or maybe you want to be a Yissacher, maybe you're the diamond in the rough, that type of person that's really special. It's a big tzaddik and a big masmid at the same time, and really could benefit from this and live a life not just in poverty, and live a life of respect and get the respect maybe that the Talmud Chacham should get. You can be in contact with Rav Dovid Kahana. It's been an honor to do this with you. Can I shake your hand in front of the camera? There we go. Shaking your hands. I will be applying to be the Yissacher. Do you know that I give 6 shiurim a day? Do you know that? Is that like a diamond in the rough? I mean, I give 6 shiurim to the public on YouTube. I mean, am I a diamond in the rough or what?
I don't know.
I only learn about 2 hours a day though. So I prepare the shiurim for 2 to 3 hours a day.
Maybe you can somehow monetize your YouTube shiurim.
That's the point, also, of course. So, all right, thank you very much for joining us. I really enjoyed this, and be well. Have a good night.
All right,
bye.